America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion.
I have sinned against you.
How dare you!
We have no need to doubt God.
The heart of Babylon is preparing the nations to receive the Antichrist.
I didn't even build that house with money from the church. I built it with money from my book.
I don't make this stuff up.
Repenting of your sin.
It is a moral issue.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
I just enjoy seeing people worship, praising God.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to
Believe It
or Did We?
The show where we did believe that or don't.
Or don't. Believe it or not, the podcast.
Believed it or don't. Whatever you want to think. If you don't want, that's okay. We understand. People are different. People have different priorities, and that's just the way things are. And look at us. We're so spooky in our spooky costumes.
Oh, for those of you who are just listening, you're missing out. For I'm the devil, just like I was in the last video I did.
And I am the devil of Nintendo, Waluigi.
Oh, no.
I hope we don't get copyrighted for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be fine. Is that an officially licensed Waluigi hat?
Ooh. I don't think it is. But I don't know.
That's true. Plausible deniability.
I'm gonna plead ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to buy it, so it's got to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I look at things, anyway.
Yeah, Damien, you like Halloween?
Yeah, it's a good time. You get candy, but in small pieces, with a lot of extra packaging.
Yep, that's true.
A lot of spooky things like ghouls and goblins, and candy apples, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all great things. Do you know, actually, I just read this the other day. Fun fact. Do you know what the first candy ever to be individually wrapped was?
No, it's not caramels, is it? Or is it caramels?
It's Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
A Tootsie Roll. I haven't had a Tootsie Roll in years.
I had a Tootsie Pop the other day.
How many licks to get to the center?
It took
Did you do it?
24.
That's it?
Well, I gave up and I bit it.
Oh, I was going to say, those are big licks.
Yeah, I have a pretty wet tongue. Not to brag, but my
corrosive,
tongue is
some might say.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
What's your favorite? We'll do a couple favorites and then a couple worst Halloween candies.
Ooh.
Candy / things people put in the
right
bag.
Like favorite so if I'm going to just like buy Halloween candy like that, or like if you shows up in your bag and you're like, oh, that's the greatest.
Yeah, let's say like you're a kid and it shows up in your bag. What are you freaking out about? What's the best? What's the worst?
The best is obviously when you get like a full-sized candy bar.
Yes.
It doesn't really necessarily matter what it is. The fact that you're getting a big one, that's kind of the thing. If we're going like what I'll usually buy, it's probably something Reese's, like the little peanut butter cups. Like I had a bag of, I ate them already, of the ones that were like they were like the pumpkins and the ghosts and the bats.
Right.
Those are so good. Other Halloween ones, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Probably the Reese's,
Reese's are the best. I didn't like them as a kid. I hated like the peanut butter chocolate combination as a kid because I was a picky eater. I know, it's so good.
So good.
And it was actually Halloween that changed my mind because my old office job, they had just a big bowl of candy for Halloween. And then I just grabbed a handful and I grabbed some Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces, as the Yankees would say, and I was like, these are goddamn good. And then I was like, do I like this? And then I had a peanut butter cup, and I was like, I like this.
See, the holiday ones are better because there's a little less chocolate and a little more peanut butter. The ratio's a little off. It's like getting the big cups. You know, have you had the big cups?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's a little more to that ratio. And you're like, oh, this is good.
Yeah,
this is good.
Perfect. That's good. I went to the store today and I grabbed this multi-pack.
Mega
Actually, pack of candy.
I think I have a pack of Reese's Big Cups in my room right now.
It's one of those generic. So this is those of you can't see. It's one of those generic bags of generic Halloween candy.
What's
that doesn't
in that?
have
Snorkers?
any chocolate. Yeah, they have rockets, or as the Americans would call it, Smarties.
Yeah,
but it's not really. They're called fizzers.
Fizzers?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so for Halloween candy, for me, myself, when I was a kid,
and Irene.
Yeah, the full-size chocolate bars, number one. Full-size can of pop. Oh,
yeah. Unless it was those gold cans of diet caffeine-free cola.
Yeah.
Forget it. We don't want those.
Forget it. I'm out of there. Those always remind me of one friend who always had those.
Yeah.
Bring them to school, or you go to his house and that's the only soda they would have. It's like,
see, I only remember them from Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was always the same house that you got it from. But the only time I ever remember seeing them is from Halloween.
Yeah. Raisins were the worst. I don't hate raisins, but getting raisins in your Halloween bag, it's like, what?
I hate raisins. I don't like raisins.
Mind them, but it's like,
I don't want them in things. I don't want them around me. Get them away from me.
Oh, I got some in my rice the other day.
Ah.
Yeah, I got some rice at a grocery store. You know how they have those like lunch buffet things at grocery stores sometimes? That the one I used to work at. I don't know if I should name
Trevor,
names.
This is the worst thing that's happened to me hearing about this right now.
Yeah, so I got some like butter chicken and like rice, and it had raisins in it. And the butter chicken was like, butter chicken's supposed to like, it's the mildest of the Indian foods, but it's still like, it's not.
You should have a little of something.
Yeah, it did not. So I will be lodging my complaint against that whole experience.
See, okay, well, raisins and rice. Like my mom used to make rice pudding all the time, and she would always make a bunch without raisins for me because I hated raisins.
Yeah,
and I feel sorry for anyone who ate it with the raisins because that's disgusting. Which is funny because I like other dried fruits. I like craisins. I like dried currants or anything else. Raisins, just no. There's something about them.
I love an oatmeal raisin cookie. Whew, might be my favorite cookie.
Really? I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I could do oatmeal chocolate chip or regular oatmeal. Put a raisin in it. I want to
die. According to Thrillist, the worst Halloween candies of all time. They have a lot of them. I'll just do the top. Their top 10. They have candy corn at 16.
I was gonna say a lot of people say candy corn. It's not that bad.
I don't mind candy corn. Yeah,
it's fine.
It's up there.
Not great.
Tootsie Rolls is on the list. Pixie Sticks is on the list.
What?
Yeah.
These are all like pretty classic staple. Chiclets?
Sixlets?
I don't know. I know chiclets, but I don't know.
Little round candy coated balls that are pretty much the exact circumference of a toddler's trachea.
I don't know what these are.
I don't know.
I feel like half of these, like Tootsie Rolls, Pixie Sticks, and those are pretty standard. Like, I'm not going to be mad if I get them.
Exactly. Good and Plenty. I don't mind that. Oh, no, wait. Good and Plenty is the black licorice one, isn't it?
That's the bottom of the list. Forget those.
That's awful. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of something else. Yeah,
those and All Sorts are the other version of them, too.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. They have Double Bubble on the list. Yeah, Double Bubble, Bazooka Joe, any of those really hard gums.
I'm fine. I'll still eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. They have Smarties at number 3, and by Smarties, that's they mean rockets. Like the Smarties in Canada, you're laughing because that's like,
they're like M&Ms but bigger.
Yeah, but I love rockets. That's like my favorite.
Yeah, they're fine. They're not bad.
My favorite, but it's like up there. Like it's like,
it's generic.
Yeah, and I saw a couple lists. They all have Neko Wafers as the number 1 worst one to get.
Those are pretty weird. Did you ever have those Nick and Nip? They were like wax bottles with goo inside.
No.
I think they're called Nick and Nip. NiknNip. And they're like little wax bottles. They look like soda bottles, and they have like a candy goo inside of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
They're like old people candy. I think that's
Thrillist also has a list of the best Halloween candy. And they have
Nick L Nip.
Nick L. Okay.
Nickel Nip. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, please continue.
No, but they have Reese's peanut butter cups as a number 1.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Twix, Snickers.
I don't know if you can see that. They're like little bottles.
Oh.
They're filled with goo, but they're like little wax bottles.
I don't ever remember getting that.
Yeah. Well, that's old people candy. Although I don't mind wax lips.
Oh yeah, that was on the list too. Wax lips. I don't
mind wax lips. It's got a weird taste, but it's something that I'm kind of like, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun thing too as a kid about Halloween. It's like there's the best candies, like these rock, and then there's the other ones where like you can make games out of them or you can do dares, like you can eat the most of this. And
yeah. I also remember just like my mom would always just like buy boxes of like Halloween candy, so we always just kind of had little candies all over.
Yeah.
I used to eat a lot of Wonder Bars. Yeah. So Reese's is number 1.
Yeah. And then like the list goes on with like all the other chocolate bars, like Twix, Snickers, Kit Kat, Butterfinger.
Yeah. Those are all good. Yeah.
So how do you feel the entire top 10 besides number 9, which is Reese's Pieces, are just chocolate bars?
I'm not a big Reese's Pieces fan.
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
How do you feel about Almond Joy?
That's fine. I don't mind coconut stuff. Yeah.
I really like Almond Joy. That's why I say it, because I know it's a divisive.
Yeah.
It's like people either love it or hate it.
Yeah. I think that was on the bad list too.
Which is interesting because I love coconut and almonds.
Yeah.
I don't like Mounds though. Mounds is just dark chocolate and coconut, and that can take a hike. You need the almond.
Oh yeah, they have them at 21. So yeah, they're hated.
Wow.
No, I don't mind them. Hard grandma candies is number 19 on their list of worst ones.
What is that? Is that those like caramels? Those square caramels?
Just like any like hard candies that don't have a label on them. They're just wrapped in like clear plastic, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Like those pink mints that taste like urinal cakes?
Yeah.
or like they taste like Pepto-Bismol. But they smell like urinal cakes. I don't know what urinal cakes taste like.
They're great.
Good.
Did you go trick-or-treating every year when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think so. You know what's weird? One of my last, like maybe not one of my last, but one oddly vivid memory of trick-or-treating was I remember like leaving my house, but I think it was my mom and my aunt stayed back, and I just remember they were watching CSI, and this was when like CSI was new, so I just remember like not a lot of lights on in the house because they had like the Halloween lamps and spooky decorations, and then just CSI on the TV. And for some reason, this is like a weird Halloween memory I have. And that's all I remember.
So every year now for Halloween, you watch
just
CSI.
The atmosphere. It's got this weird spooky CSI feel to it. So it might have been like 2001 or 2. I don't know.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because I was going to say, didn't CSI come out? No, I'm just older than you. I was like, because I think it came out when I was in college or high school. But
I was 11 or 12 then. I was a little baby boy. A wee little baby.
Were your parents ever afraid of you getting poisoned by candy?
I don't think they were. I know that was always a thing, like poison or razor blades. But I don't think they cared. They're like, whatever. It'll be fine.
Because my parents, like, they really struggled with Halloween pretty much their entire lives. Well, my entire life. No,
or because of the Satan thing?
They were afraid of like poisoning candy and things like that. So we only went to people's houses that we knew, and so they would
only
just
handed out
around.
Toothbrushes.
Yeah, and they also, like, every couple years they'd be like, no, we're not doing Halloween this year. They'd have a freak out and be like, no, it's Satanist, it's satanic or whatever. We can't do Halloween. So,
well, I know that like statistically they say that, well, I mean, it's never really been confirmed of ever having razor blades and apples or poison candy or anything like that. You're more likely to be murdered and killed by your family members than some strangers.
Yeah. So,
and now the thing is about like people, like kids getting people's weed gummies, and you're like, people are not going to be handing out their weed gummies to children.
Exactly.
They're not going to do that. 100% they're not going to give away their drugs
100% not. So let's talk about some of the history of people being afraid of poison candy. It's not that it's never happened, but it's pretty much never happened.
It basically should just be never happened.
Yeah. So one case, 1959 is the oldest known case.
One case.
one case, and it was laxatives as a prank. So somebody handed out a bunch of laxative candies.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's not good, but
because people got really sick. You can't just give out medicine like that. 30 people got very sick, 30 kids. So that's bad. He got arrested for unlawful dispensing of drugs and outrage of public decency because he made a bunch of kids shit.
I'm sorry for those children, but
yeah. In 1964, a woman by the name of Helen Pfeil, Pfeil, she was tired of Halloween. Yeah. She was tired of Halloween. She hated it. And she thought that all the kids coming to her door were just too old. She was just a grumpy old lady. So she thought it'd be funny to make treat bags that were steel wool pads, dog biscuits wrapped in aluminum foil, and insect traps that were clearly marked as poison.
Whoa.
So she everything was labeled, and she just thought it was a funny prank, but she got arrested and ended up being committed to a state hospital.
I think the first two things were kind of funny. It was when the insect traps, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And but then in 1970, somebody wrote a opinion article in the New York Times basically about why is it that we trust just random strangers to give our kids candy? And so it was like this opinion piece about somebody could put poison in the candy or razor blades in the apples. So we should be afraid of that because this is a possibility. And they laid out like a couple, like, here's some things. And then it started this panic like, oh yeah, people could do that. And then, you know how those things go. It turns from people could do this to have you heard about all these people doing this?
It's amazing what one poorly researched, shitty article can do to ruin something for everybody.
Yep.
It's like that article about MSG in the 80s and how that vilified it, which I think that one was born mostly out of racism. But
that one, a lot of racism in that one. And,
this one, I don't know if there's much racism, but probably, maybe some puritanical bullshit.
And there's always moral panic around Halloween, and then this is just another way to add moral panic to Halloween. Yeah. And so the old lady down the block is going to make you a nice candy apple, and she's going to put a razor blade in that candy apple. Actually,
have you seen how much razor blades are now?
Yeah, exactly. They put them behind glass cases because they're afraid people are going to steal them.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're putting razor cartridges in their apple.
That's true.
Maybe the only one I could see that happening is maybe a peach. Like they were trying to shave the peach before they gave it to you.
Right. That's true. Stuck. And then it got stuck, and they forgot. They're like, "Where's our razor at?"
It's like, we were supposed to hand out nectarines, but all we have are these peaches. Have you ever shaved a peach and called it a nectarine?
Every Halloween when I forget to buy nectarines, but other than that, no.
Can you actually shave a peach and make it a nectarine like that?
That'll be a Patreon only exclusive. We'll try it out.
I never thought about that before. Maybe
and then also, it. That's smarter.
Full Brazilian.
Also in 1970, though, to add on to this, was a kid died on Halloween Day in Detroit after consuming heroin. So people thought that...
What?
Yeah, so a kid somehow consumed heroin, and so people thought that somebody had put heroin in with the candy. Turns out his uncle just had a bunch of heroin, and he had stumbled upon it and didn't know what it was, and
just
ingested it. Yeah. So a 5-year-old kid, right? Like they see powder. Oh, it's sugar. Like, I don't know. Is heroin in powder form? It's in powder form, right? I don't know.
I mean, even if it is, if I'm a kid and you see powder, I don't think the first thing I'm thinking is sugar.
Yeah, I don't know. But I had a lot of siblings, and
they're dumb.
Some are dumber than others.
Not your siblings. I just mean kids. I'm sorry.
No,
that's not what I meant. That's but I'm locked into it now. So I, you know what? I don't apologize. I take that back.
I'm okay. So my brother Ryan, what I'm going to say right now is every time I mention you on the podcast, I owe you $1. That's my new rule.
How many dollars is that going to be now?
It's going to be a lot. Okay. So so everybody freaked out. They said, see, it's true. That article was true. People are poisoning Halloween candy. And then, of course, when the truth comes out, people only remember the original, right? So,
right. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, most people probably don't hear the truth, too.
No. Actually,
so it lives on.
John Oliver did a really good story recently about crime reporting in the news, and how it's usually just they get a crime report from the police and then just report what the police say and never do any corrections. And how a lot of people if you're falsely accused, a news place will run the thing about you being arrested, but they'll never do a follow-up and say, oh, this person, it was cleared up, and then that article's on their website for decades.
Well, which is why they shouldn't release the names of people until, it's gone to trial and everything has happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So. And then in 1974, a kid died in Houston, and he ate it was a poisoned pixie stick. So,
okay.
So
what was it
freaked out.
With?
Arsenic. No, not arsenic, the other one.
Anthrax.
Yeah, something like, what was it?
Rat poison. I don't know. Isn't that arsenic?
Yeah, I think it wasn't. We'll just say arsenic. I had it written down and then I can't see it here. But that was, so everybody pulled their pixie sticks and everybody was freaking out that somebody's going around poisoning pixie sticks, but it's his dad killed him.
Oh, his dad did it?
Yeah. So the kid's dad put poison. Oh, it was cyanide. Sorry, there it is. Right there in my notes. So he put cyanide in his son's pixie sticks to murder his son. So, yeah. And that was that added flame to the fire of people saying that. Yeah. And then he became known as the Candyman killer. And I don't know if the movie Candyman is named after that, but probably.
Candyman.
And I should rewatch those this Halloween.
I've never actually seen them, and they just came out with the
first one,
recently,
and then the newest one is really good. Yeah, but
is he made out of candy?
No.
Oh, well, then I don't want to watch it.
Dripping like honey and stuff, though. But...
Oh, like that Def Leppard song.
Yeah. Pour some sugar on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And then, by the 1980s, you also have the satanic panic going on, so that doesn't help. Hospitals start offering to X-ray candy on Halloween. So now our candy's radioactive.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I've definitely seen the trope of like Halloween candy being X-rayed in movies and TV shows, but I've never experienced it firsthand.
Isn't that what happened? Yeah, that's in The Simpsons when they were X-raying all the candy, and then
they do it in The Simpsons.
Explodes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Razor blade dynamite.
that old Canadian, like, what's that comedian's name? But he did a video years ago where he's going through his kids' candy, and it's like razor blade pills, Nickelback CD.
Oh yeah. Who was that? I remember that.
He's a classic, like, what's his name? He does a lot of videos about Canadian culture and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I remember that though. I do remember that.
Yeah. And so,
have you heard the new Nickelback song, San Quentin?
No, is it good?
It's bad.
Oh, really? I thought there was gonna be a twist. Like, it's actually really good.
Oh no, it's bad.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
I feel like they were like on the up of like people defending them a lot more lately.
Oh,
like,
no,
what did
man.
they do that was so bad? But...
This is basically like, we're drinking and we're driving and I don't want to go to jail. That's the whole song. It's so weird.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1982, the governor of New Jersey signed a bill requiring a jail term for anybody who tampers with candy, despite the fact that it had yet to be done.
Would have been. I feel like it would have been illegal anyway, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
Poisoning children.
So poisoning children.
It's got to be. Poisoning anybody, I think, is illegal, isn't it?
I think so. And then again,
wait a minute. According to this, it's legal. Whoa! I'm gonna go poison everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, we found your search history. It said, "Is it illegal to poison children?" So
I was gonna get more specific in that joke, and I'm like, "That's a bad idea. I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah. And then another thing that happened in the 80s too was you remember the Tylenol poisoning.
The tampering. That's why they have those safety seals now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that wasn't candy. That's Tylenol.
It's Tylenol, exactly.
That's already a drug.
Yeah. But in Japan, there was candy poisoning. Somebody blackmailed a candy company and said that unless they paid a giant ransom, they would start poisoning their candies in stores. And the candy, like a lot of people pulled the candy from the stores, checked it, and none of it had poison. And then they did it again. And that time they did actually go in and poison some candy.
Whoa.
Had nothing to do with Halloween, but that's still kind of, those stories get back and they, get back to you. And it's like, oh yeah, they're after our kids with our candy.
Do they do Halloween in Japan?
I'm sure they do now. I don't think there's a rich tradition of Halloween in Japan, but I'm sure some people do.
I mean, I would hardly say that we have a rich tradition of it here in North America either, though. But I guess maybe.
In 1990, somebody died in Santa Monica, Florida. Everybody said that it was because of the candy they ate on Halloween, and then the tests they did tests, and it just was not poison. Died of different causes.
Died.
Yeah. Same thing happened in 2001 in Vancouver. A girl ate some Halloween candy and then she died. It turned out it was heart failure and had nothing to do with the candy. It was just like a coincidence. But again, that caused a lot of outrage and a lot of people freaking out that.
Trev, when I die, I want you to tell everyone it was because of Halloween candy.
Yeah, deal.
No matter what happens, say, oh yeah, he ate some bad Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, I heard he had cancer and then was in a horrible car accident. It was like, no, it was bad Halloween candy.
Yeah.
He swallowed 3 razor blades full of cyanide.
Oh yeah. Also in the 80s, people were afraid that there'd be AIDS infected needles in their candy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some homophobia thrown in with the racism we were talking about before. Great.
Yeah. And then, like you said, over the last few years, it's weed gummies, as if people would want to give up their weed gummies to kids.
Yeah. You know how expensive those things are? You think you're going to be dropping them on some stupid children?
Yeah.
For what?
And again, some kids have accidentally taken weed candies and weed gummies, but it's usually somebody in their household has it and the kids find it and it's not put away properly. So people use that as an example, but it's that's not giving it to a random stranger. That's And then have you heard the big one this year?
Which is
rainbow fentanyl?
What? No, I haven't heard anything about this.
So as, police confiscate drugs at the border or just in general, they find different types of drugs. And one of them is fentanyl. And now some fentanyl has, they come in different colors. And so Fox News and other stations with their, same amount of research just went with the story that the reason it's multicolored is because they want to trick children into thinking it's candy on Halloween. So there's no actual reason to believe that, but that's the big fear now. And there's legislation being passed against it, against people who hand out.
Listen, I gotta say, I'm surprised they didn't go for it being the gay agenda fentanyl or something
true.
like that, because it's rainbow fentanyl. I'm surprised they didn't go there.
Yeah.
But, it's just what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Wow.
My favorite part of that too was there's this news thing on Fox where they're talking about recently Bill Clinton was interviewed, and he said that usually before elections, the GOP will find ways to scare people and make people afraid of everything going on. And then one of the hosts was like, "Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's the Democrats that are making people afraid by doing things like introducing rainbow-colored fentanyl." And so they're using like a GOP talking point and saying that it's because Democrats brought the drugs that they're the ones causing the fear.
Man, the fact that there's such like an us versus them mentality that like this just ends up getting thrown into like if something's bad, it's clearly them and not us is so insane. Maybe it's just someone who has no political affiliation whatsoever and they're just a bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't vote.
And sorry?
I said, I don't know. I don't vote.
Yeah.
That's not true. I do vote. I do vote.
Yeah, in Canada.
In Canada.
Can you vote in the States?
No.
Okay.
But I will.
Oh, okay.
3 times.
You get arrested if it's in Florida. So.
Oh yeah. For voting?
Yeah, they've been arresting people because they passed a law and then DeSantis changed the law, so people thought they were allowed to vote who weren't allowed to vote. So if they did vote, he goes and gets people to arrest them. It's ridiculous. They had voter cards and everything.
Well, the fact that they limit who can vote and how they can vote and when they can vote as much as they do is borderline criminal. Yeah, it probably is criminal, actually.
So I think it's probably just straight up. Yeah,
it's probably just straight up criminal. So
yeah, yeah. So some of the reasonings people say behind it is like, I mean, like we said, people are afraid of
children.
Halloween. People are afraid of children. There's the innocence factor of the fact that it's about kids causes more outrage.
Totally. People get weird when you talk about kids and animals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. There are candy-shaped weed stuff, so people just are dumb and they make that connection.
Well, there are some gummies, I think, in Canada, weed gummies, that are actually made, I think they're made by Maynards who make, like, gummies.
Oh, yeah, they're at least a parody of it.
No, I think they're actually made by Maynards.
Oh, really?
Though.
Yeah.
Like the manufacturer who makes them is
cool.
Maynards.
Yeah.
But they are so good.
Yeah.
Like if I could buy a non-weed version of these specific gummies, I'd buy them all the time.
Nice.
They're so good.
That's amazing. Yeah. And
that's
also,
right, Mom. I've had a weed gummy. I'm kidding. My mom smokes weed every day. 420, please.
420.
That's what she says every time I come home. And she high fives me. I'm like, please don't high five me.
But I'm 420 blazing.
Yeah, yeah. And she busts a fat cloud in my face. But actually,
there's also, like you said, there's racism involved too with like just fear of others and fear of like, that don't go into that neighborhood. They're gonna put razor blades in your.
I mean, that's got to be a big part of it, I'm sure, is just keeping people out of specific neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
Like only go to the people we know, the nice white people that we know on our block, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all blown out of proportion to the effect of it. It pretty much just hasn't happened. A guy named Best, Joel Best, in the 80s, published a book about it because in the 70s, when he noticed everything was happening, he started tracking it back to 1958 and finding any claim of that he could find in any sort of newspaper, police reports, anything, and he just like really tracked it and found that it every single time it was not what people thought.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And so, and study after study continues to show that people are not poisoning your kids' candy.
Like, God forbid, people just want to, get caught up in the spirit and have a nice time,
Yeah.
No, they all got to be evil.
Yeah. Speaking of evil, oh, that's a terrible segue. Should we thank our patrons?
my God! Wow! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming to our Bible study. Of course, it's that spooky Halloween season, so we're praying for the souls of our brothers and sisters who have been tricked by the Satanists.
That's right.
Into eating candy.
On the way here, I saw several devils and some ghosts, and I just hope that their spirits can be cleansed and freed and sent off to be with Jesus. Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. I saw a kid dressed up as Winnie the Pooh, which is very demonic.
Yep.
So.
It looks just like Xi Jinping. Is that his name? That's how you say it, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure you said it perfect.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No, it's always good to laugh in the face of evil. But here's some people who aren't evil at all and don't participate, I'm sure, with the satanic rituals of Halloween. And their names are Nicolene and Sean, and they are very wonderful, wholesome people. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, and I've got a special prayer request today for our friend, the Gay Agenda. They have been pushing all kinds of things that, you know what, I have to question it. I have to say, listen, I understand you have an agenda, but do you have to push it? And it's a lovely agenda. You know, it's got 3 hole punched in it so you can put it into your duotang. It's got a nice spiral ring on it, and the front cover is just so glossy. It's a beautiful agenda, but listen, not everybody can appreciate a nice agenda. So I'm just going to ask if the Gay Agenda can just you know what, maybe just share it with the people who want to see it.
Yeah.
I guess. Amen.
And Damien, should we do a Christian rock lyric?
Let's do a Christian rock lyric.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
No, Damien, what do you
Trevor?
think of the devil?
I think he's a cool guy. He's got nice slick back hair, you know, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's got a cool little goatee, I guess. Sometimes.
Does he eat sloppy steaks?
He eats sloppy steaks at Trifoni's every night. Yeah. Oh, I love this guy.
I've heard that the devil is a liar.
Okay.
According to
who told you that?
A band called We Are Messengers.
All right.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Well, you know, it's easier that way, though. Then you don't have to get any more messages.
That's true. That's true.
That's what they don't tell you about that saying. Yeah. What I'm saying is you got to shoot every messenger.
Yeah. Especially MSN Messenger.
MSNmessenger.com.
Yeah. But this song goes as follows. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Don't want to be fake. Picture it more like country and like kind of like.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't want to be fake. And if you're fake, you might be a redneck. Like
but
that.
I heard I should be ashamed from the mouth of a snake. Deep down, I'd rather show you something real, but there is power in my weakness. They can try to keep me silent, but I'm a shout it from the mountain. No, I'm not going to back down. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. My God has set me free. Open your eyes. Now I can see the devil is a liar. He's not fooling me.
Okay, so one thing I want to ask. So they say I don't want to be ashamed. Isn't a big thing about like religion and stuff is about shame and like feeling shame, like shame about sexuality and your body and things like that and all that stuff.
Very,
so
very,
it sounds like
very much.
Sounds like they want to be shamed.
Yeah. So
just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Yeah, in my experience, it's like a bunch of shame piled on top of you. And then, so you already live with shame. And plus, I mean, I had anxiety and I had self-esteem issues. So I already have that. And then they want you to go out and share your faith with people, which is what he's talking about with I'm not ashamed. So they shame you, shame you, and then tell you to go out and preach. So they have to convince you in this area, you're not supposed to be ashamed. Be ashamed in everything else you do, but in this area, don't be ashamed.
Only experience the shame that we want you to experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Church branded shame.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Well, wear your Halloween costumes with pride this year.
Yeah. Put them on. Eat your heart out.
Fizzers.
And your candy. Your fizzers, your whizzers, your snorkers, your twanks bar.
Twanks bar.
WANX twanks.
The Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the packaging was for the listeners, people who aren't listening, so they can get the experience, the full.
This is
Halloween,
an oral experience.
Yeah.
AURAL oral. Is that how you say that? Spell that? I don't know. Like in your ears.
Oh yeah, like a optical.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, that works.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. Wow.
Oh.
Work, Sky Moon.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.